Uranium friends, couple questions on Western uranium. Let's look. So quarterly chart, life of the stock, right? So here are your little waves. Now, the first things, the caveats are being it's a low float, low liquidity stock. The wickiness does make things a little bit more difficult, but we're going to take a look and we'll see what we see because we've had some questions. Anyway, you can look at this quarterly chart and you can see the pivots, right? So even if we discard these wicks, which we won't, but even if we have it, there's some clear pivoting going on here, right? So you have your high, your low, your double top, your lower low, right? Quarterly downtrend, no follow through. Okay, comes in, takes out this downtrend, makes a new high. So basically, what it did by doing this, it lost its quarterly downtrend. So then it would need to start to try to confirm a new uptrend, which it hasn't done yet, by the way. Okay. So it makes its new high, makes its higher low, and that's what it's doing. So in order to confirm a quarterly uptrend, it will need to take out this level, which is 328 in American dollars. And that's what we're looking at right now. We're using Western on the OTC. So that's what the deal is. Now, one could say that this pivot up here at, what is it, $1.92? $1.94. Well, that quarterly high here, this lower high is set. And why do we say that? Well, because it took out these lows here. So consolidation has begun on the quarterly chart because it took out the latest lows here. So it's searching for another pivot, essentially is what it's doing. Where that happens to be, we don't know yet, right? So and when you try to find these to see what's going on, you start zooming in. So we're on the quarterly chart. The one thing I will say about this quarterly chart, we do have a bit of a inverse head and shoulders look going on, right? And I think I've gone over this before and have talked about this, right? So it doesn't mean that that's going to confirm, but you do have a little bit of a wonky head and shoulders. And the way I look at it, I would discard these wicks, and I would say around this 220 area would be like the neckline, all right? So or maybe you could even go a little bit deeper into the 192 area. Let's just say 210 for all intents and purposes. So that would be that type of look on the quarterly. All right, so now we're zooming into the monthly, and the question arose from over here. Now, this came from the fact that I just said it confirmed a new monthly downtrend, right? So, and if you look at this in that way, we'll come to this path thing again. All right, so you have your low. Forget it. Let's discard this for now. But we have this low. Okay. There's many technical analysts who would call this, you know, they might just call this all one move. All right. But I see some wicks and some consolidation here. So we have a low, we have a high, we have a higher low, we have a higher high. There's your uptrend. Okay. So then what are you doing? You're looking for a higher low. You get it right here. Right. But then it fails to make it past to make it past this high. So you double top here, forming a lower high, and now what you've done is that you've just came down and broke this low. So essentially, you have your low, your high, your new low, your lower low. So that gives you the monthly downtrend out of this attempt at an uptrend. So it's sketchy, right? So these are confusing issues. They're not as clear, especially with OTC stuff. But that's the way I'm viewing it right now, and that prompted my post. So um, you could take. I'm trying to zoom in for you so you can actually see it, right? So once we lost this low of $1.19, well, that confirmed that it's back to a downtrend, right? So low, high, higher low, higher high, right? Uptrend regained. So this was all downtrend, even though it didn't look like it, right? So if you came down here, even if we took that top, you had your high, you have your low, you have your lower high, you have your lower low, You have your lower high, lower low. Okay, that's what happened here. So then you get this sideways action into these lows here, and then it continues on. So right when this happens here, you're still in a lower high scenario. So you're still in a monthly downtrend from November of 2021, October of 2021, still in a monthly downtrend. Comes back up, makes a new high, doesn't take this out. So it's still in a downtrend. Makes a higher low compared to this low, makes a new high. So that's here we've regained an uptrend, right? Um, low, high, higher low, higher high. That is the requirement to change a trend. It did it. Makes a higher low, which was exactly what anybody who's playing the monthly charts wants to see. Then you got your lower high, which then continued on to a lower low. So it lost its uptrend and confirmed the downtrend. Now, there's no follow through here yet. And, so most people, you want to be really thinking about it. You got to be working off this base. But this is where we stand right now. So again, it's a little bit, there's no follow through. There's some slight confusion. Zoom in again. Now we come to the weekly chart. What does the weekly tell you? Uptrend, right? Loses the uptrend once this level breaks. And that's exactly what it did. So it's the same thing. The weekly lost it last week. Okay, because this low took out the, let me just make sure that I'm right here. 119. It's a double bottom. So it didn't necessarily lose it. Now it did. And it's a good little hammer there, right? So this is why I'm saying there's no follow through yet. And that's what you're going to be looking to see if it continues in its downward trajectory. So back to that monthly, because it was an interesting. It's a good question. It's a good experiment. It's a good thought process. And these OTC names are tougher to deal with, but that is the deal. So there was literally, if you zoom out and you look at this chart, there's nothing overly bullish about this if you're working off these 2021 highs, right? This is just literally sideways consolidation, but we get clues and we get to decide, is it time to take the chance for maybe making some bull type of entries? Of course, it's coming into earnings, right? When's that coming? August 28th. All right, so you got a couple weeks. So that's kind of the deal. If you want to zoom in more, you can look at the dailies, and we can see, right? So you had a decent little uptrend here. It's again, OTC is tough with with these wicks. There will be technical analysts who think this is all one move right here, and they're discarding these pivots. This is a decent pivot here. These are decent pivots. So low, high, higher low, double top, higher low, new high, no follow through, dump into a hammer. So um, it's really just a monthly downtrend confirming. It tried to break it, it didn't, but there's no follow through yet. So once this low right here is broken, let me just kill these paths. Okay. Once this low was broken, right here, once that low was broken by this candle here, everything's choppy. By this candle here, well, that says it's a downtrend because this is an absolute pivot up here, which is a lower high. So that's what it is. What's going on now is that we're just looking to see follow through, and there's going to be a lot of things that determine that. That's non-uranium related, right? So we have macro shit going on. That's the deal. I hope that clears up the questions. Just ask again if it's not clear. Over and out.